Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. We have got what I think should be an exciting one today. In the top right-hand side of the map, we have got none other than the GSL champion, I can say, TY. Usually I'd say something like spoilers ahead, but by the time this video goes up, since I am working on a big backlog for when I go away, it's gonna be like late in July. So if you don't know who won the last GSL by the time they're like halfway through the next one, you gotta go watch more StarCraft, man, and well, you're doing that right now, so good on ya. But more GSL specifically. GSL is awesome. I love it when it's on Friday nights and I can actually watch it. Now, in the bottom left-hand side of the map, we've got the reason why I think it's going to be a really interesting match. It's Patience, playing for Team LP. Patience is a Protoss player who I'd say pales in comparison to TY, at the minute anyway. TY a GSL champ, whereas Patience kind of is working his way back. I guess using the term pales would have been a bit extreme, but he's working his way back from being basically retired, I'd say. He was playing in like no tournaments for a time. He was hosting no good results, not qualifying for cups and things. And now he's back. He's working his way to higher levels of play again, but he still does sometimes get bopped by really good StarCraft 2 players. And so we're going to see how he'll do against TY in this match. So it's going to be a good proving ground for Patience as far as what his form's going to be looking like at the minute. Yeah, I think Patience definitely could take a game off of TY. Whether this will be the one, I'm not too sure. Looks like he might be starting it off with a bit of a cheeky proxy or something, though, or is he just going to send his probe into the base of TY? Looks like he'll just be sending that into the base of TY. The Reaper for TY is moving out on the map. The probe's going to run in to start harassing that command center. Be as much of a jerk as possible. Now, the probe is running on into TY's base. Basically sees the tech and everything, gonna start attacking TY. Gotta get that Reaper back there to deal with that pesky probe. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this match, make sure to go ahead and hit that like button. Let's try and hit basically 100 likes on this video. That would be amazing. Hitting the like button really does help out, and you guys are a great community that does that so regularly on this channel. Now, let's take a look. We have got a starport on the way for TY. He's got a Hellion on the way, a single Marine. Maybe he'll be a double Marine at some point. But for now, yeah, TY just opening up 1-1-1. And oh, what was this SCV doing? Was it just checking for proxies? That's a little bit odd. The SCV just going out there to check for proxies? Or is he going to build like a command center or just hide out? What is this SCV doing? I really don't know. However, I did enjoy the fact that he went all the way down to the bottom right of the base to check for proxies, because that is such a Patience thing to do, to build what would be potentially DTs. However, at the same time, TY is actually starting to get a few probe kills with his Reaper. He's already got 3 probe kills this game. Patience, I don't think, can afford to lose any more. Looks like he will at least get the Reaper as compensation, but the thing I want to talk about as this game is starting to heat up is TY is going to be going for battle cruisers. He's getting up a fusion core, and he is going to be BC rushing Patience. I'm excited for this game. Patience is a very good Protoss player, so we'll see how well he's going to deal with a battle cruiser rush. TY is so good at StarCraft 2 that he is someone that can choose strategies that are just completely out there and make them work. It's one of the defining things about his play that he goes for unorthodox strategies. I honestly love the fact that TY is willing to go for something like this. However, at the same time, I do believe, or it's something that I think that would be interesting, if TY just played straight up, would he have better odds beating someone like Patience than if he did something like memeing with battle cruisers right now? That's honestly something that I want to know. Whether TY gets more wins than he would if he just played straight up. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we see a Fusion Core Blink on the way for Patience. Blink is good for dealing with BCs. Very useful if you're going to be opening up with like the 8 Blink Stalkers or so. And seeing as how it's Patience, there is certainly a chance that he could be opening up with even more than the usual amount of Blink Stalkers because he's Patience. He's the Blink Stalker guy. The madman who blinks up ramps with no vision, things like that. So who knows, maybe he will just be able to shut down this BC because he's already going up to 9 Stalkers, which isn't bad at all. The Battlecruiser is about to finish for TY. We'll see where it's going to teleport. Behind this, TY is building a Raven. He's going to be getting up an extra command center, an extra couple of barracks, so he will be going into bio. Off the back of this BC, where's that BC teleporting to? Where's it going? I saw that BC yeet itself across the map. Looks like the choice is to the back of Patience's natural. Stalkers are going to be able to blink away from the BC when they're injured, and they actually completely repel that Battlecruiser, so really, really good for Patience. The Observer also has eyes on it, so that's really nice for him. And oh, Patience, what's he doing? Is he waiting for the BC to maybe move out north? He's got eyes on it, so I don't think he needs to rush his Blink Stalkers, but instead it looks like he's just going to go for a counterattack against TY, which I really don't mind him putting the pressure on TY, but he does have to keep in mind, there is a BC sitting outside his natural, so leaving himself undefended at his natural, this could goad TY to move in with the Battlecruiser. No Stalkers have been warped in yet, as Patience is really focused on the aggression, but there we go, 3 warping on in. And now they're going to be in position to defend against potential counterattacks with the BCs. Stalkers blink on in. They're going to be eating siege tank shots. However, there's no tanks at the natural of TY. TY is worried about a blink into his main base. So the Stalkers are going to be able to poke and prod a little bit at his natural. They do end up getting out after getting a few SCVs. Behind this, Patience is getting +1. He's making lots of probes, so he's going to saturate his 3rd base. Worker count isn't actually that good for Patience, though. TY's on 2 bases, yes, but it's 52 to 55, or 54 to 56 workers now. So, quite good for the Terran, I'd say, as Patience did make a lot of those extra Blink Stalkers, and he got his economy going up a little bit later. And then we also take a look right now. Patience is going up to 8 gateways, but he doesn't have charge started yet. He's just going to have +1. He does, however, have a Robo Bay. No Colossus on the way just yet, though. Instead, he's going to go for a single Immortal. Maybe he'll go for a Disruptor after that. I'm not sure. I really do think TY is just naturally going to be in a good spot this game, though. Like, he sometimes has a knack for going for crazy economics, for getting his economy on track. He's like Alpha Star in a way. He just makes workers non-stop. And so TY, he's on an incredible economy already, considering the fact, when you think about it, into his early game build, he squeezed a Battlecruiser in. And then he's just like, all right, BC done, 3rd base on the way, all is good. That's just the way I roll because I'm TY. We take a look at the production tab. There's a lot on the way for TY. Patience is going to be getting up a Templar Archive, so potentially going to be reaching for Psystorm. Could just be for Archons, I suppose. But then we take a look. The Battlecruiser comes back in. Going to be getting more damage than it got in the early game. Gets 5 probes. Not bad. Looks like it will also get stuck behind this location and is even going to try and kill this pylon. TY squeezing every bit of value he can out of that unit. Kills off 5 extra probes and a pylon. The BC only got like 2-3 kills in the early game. And now it just added on. Now it just added on more. So really well done by TY, getting damage done with the unit, really showing his patience, even though Patience is the guy that I guess we think should be being patient, if that name made sense. But we do take a look. Patience is getting up a 4th base and a 5th base. I really do enjoy this. I think it's a bold move from the Protoss to try and get a 5th up this early, but there's a chance that it'll pay off dividends for Patience, and he'll be able to get up to a huge economy. My concern is, though, that TY did just scan this, so he's going to know that Patience may be a little more vulnerable than you'd think for the next little while. Stalkers poking and prodding TY, probably going to have to blink away. We see +2 is almost done for Patience. TY's just started +2 attack. There's his armor on the way. He's getting up 2 extra factories. So TY is going to be able to make an absolute ton of siege tanks. He's got missile turrets set up in his main base to help zone out the Prism. This one Marine is actually chasing it down and doing a lot of damage. The Battlecruiser blinked back to the natural base, is going to be getting some damage done there. A few probes, all the while the drop of TY is going to be heading towards Patience's 5th base, but Patience is in position to zone this out. So it looks like Patience will be getting away with taking his 5th base. At the same time, though, TY is on an incredible economy. He's getting up a Ghost Academy. He's triple pumping tanks, and he's getting rapid reignition system off his fusion core, so those Medivacs boost faster, because why not? Now we see there is indeed that 4th getting up for TY. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 5th CC go down soon. TY is just one of those players who's not afraid of going into the late game at all, it seems. And he just has incredible ways of making it work. Whereas Patience, I don't think, is as much of a late game Protoss. And so as we see him warp in more Zealots, I get the feeling he's going to go for a big attack against TY. Whether it'll work, though, that's a different question. I mean, TY has a PF. He's going to have a lot of tanks to lock down this location. Mass tanks for Terran is very good against Protoss. And so if Patience is going to get off a successful attack, I feel he's going to have to, say, work his way into the natural or pull TY out of position somehow. Otherwise, he'll be very tight pressed to get any damage done. Patience is building another Robo Bay, which I must say is odd. A bit of a mistake there. Guess he forgot he built one of those early on. We do see Patience starting to put the pressure on TY a little bit. And Observer's moving in. It's going to spot these 3 siege tanks. Patience recalls some of his units because TY has a big old drop at his natural. This recall should be more than enough to send this packing, though. Some Zealots getting warped in to help deal with this. The Marine's going to try and kill off some probes. Good Zealot warpins by Patience to try and shut this down as soon as possible, though. Loses 6 probes, but if we actually look at the cost of what was lost, resources-wise, that was not a good trade for TY. And seeing as how both players are on big economies, that's what we really should be looking at. Somehow Patience lost 2 High Templar and a few Archons. I'm not sure where that happened. Overall, though, both players are maxed out. Patience is building up lots of cannons. TY is getting ghosts and enhanced shockwaves. This is one of the things that makes TY so scary, man. He's not afraid to go into the late game at all. He's got such good macro. And, like, he's making tanks for days. He's making High Templar, or he's making ghosts to counter the High Templar. He's also dropping at the same time. Going to be getting a big drop off at the natural base of Patience. Zealots coming on in. Stalkers blink forward to try and help shut this down. The Marines are dealing a lot of damage to the Stalkers, though, so not a bad trade out. Stalkers do blink. They grab 1. They grab both Medivacs, so good cleanup by Patience. But man, one of the things that I find that's really impressive from TY is that he just doesn't even seem to care if Patience is thinking of making Tempest. Like, if I'm a Terran and I'm turtling to the late game, I'm like, oh man, the Protoss is going to get Psystorm and they're going to get Tempest and Colossus, and they're going to bully me and poke and prod me with the Tempest, and I won't be able to do anything about it. But Patience just doesn't care, or TY just doesn't care. He's like, I'll make a bunch of tanks, and then I'm going to attack. And Patience hasn't made any Tempest, so he's just super comfortable, and I'm like, it makes me wonder, like, what does TY do if the Protoss does start making Tempest? Or do Protoss just not make Tempest at this level because players like TY are so good against them? We see massive tank shots getting off for TY. His tank count is absurdly high. So many siege tanks. Patience's army is not really equipped to deal with this. He's only got 3 Zealots in it to help close the gap. I mean, he's got Colossus out, but those aren't the best against siege tanks. He's got a few Archons and an Immortals. But man, this is going to be a tough fight for Patience when this happens. He's being bullied off of his 5th base. He's just going to have to retreat. I thought the Stalkers were going to go for a flank. Instead, they're looking to pick off reinforcements. They will get some good damage done to TY. They cancel a command center. They're picking off some SCVs, getting like a turret or 2. Gets a sensor tower. At the same time, though, TY is really bullying Patience with this. Patience, by the way, I must say, does have extended thermal lance for his Colossus, but the tanks still do range them. I was checking to make sure that he did indeed have that. But now we see TY, he's moving back. He's going to want to push these Stalkers away. The Stalkers, which recall, by the way. And a base for Patience is in range of TY. TY is moving forward with his tanks. He's really starting to split himself up, so this may be the window for Patience to take a fight. TY's got Marines in the top left that aren't going to be here as valid supply, and so we are going to see Patience pull the trigger on this one. Double Disruptor Novas go out, help pick off some of the tanks. Stalkers blinking forward, Zealots and Archons moving up. TY's tank count is going to be completely reset, and this is a big victory for the Protoss. Patience did wait long enough till he was able to get an okay fight against this. I'm not going to say it was an amazing fight, but it is enough of a fight that TY will have to go back. He'll have to reconsolidate. At the same time, though, TY is just going to be getting a lot of damage done. This drop to the middle left-hand side of Patience's base kills off one Nexus. He shut down the one in the top left. I mean, Patience is playing a good game, but it seems even when he gets wins against TY, it's just like, that was alright. Stalker's now going to be skirmishing against these Marines. Blink after them, going to help repel them. These Stalkers see the drop moving to the left-hand side. Patience for now, though, he did keep this Nexus alive, which is a big deal. He's getting one up in the top right, so going up to 6 spaces. TY's currently on 5. I would like to see Patience take this gas. There we go. That rich gas, he can't really afford not to mine out of that. We take a look. TY was really getting his economy going. However, losing all those units did slow him down a lot. Patience also canceled his extra command center, so no 6 space for TY. So while his economy is good, as I say that I find a 6th command center, while his economy is good, it's nothing super scary. It's not like TY can make infinite losses. He's been able to remax, but it's not like he's got, a crazily big army. Patience is now going to start attacking into TY's base. Double Disruptors get tossed out, or Disruption Novas get tossed out for Patience right away because he thought TY was going to collapse on him. He has been quite afraid of attacking on in. Afraid of getting trapped in TY's base, I guess. It looks like there is a DT Blink counterattack going to be hitting Patience's base. Will he be able to get the orbital or the planetary fortress? Looks like the answer is no. That was incredibly expensive for Patience. He just tried to snipe that base with 13 DTs, the magic number, but TY's turret, his rogue turret out to the left side of the map, actually spotted this coming. That turret paid for itself 10 times over, at least. Man, TY being able to save that base was absolutely huge. Kill off 13 DTs essentially for free. It's nuts. That was so good for TY. I can't overstate that enough. Patience not being able to get that base really hurt him. If he gets that base, and all of a sudden TY has to really try and deal with the DTs, which is tough. He loses one of his mining locations. He's completely torn asunder. But TY keeping that alive was massive. Looks like we see a recall went down from Patience to try and repel this army. More Zealots and DTs have been warped in. Keep in mind, TY's bio is out on the map without any form of support right now. We see Patience warping in more Zealots and DTs to try and keep TY on his feet. DTs are a very good unit. They're just very expensive for the Protoss. A nuke is getting queued up by Patience. TY doesn't have anything to actually detect this, so he's probably just going to have to run the probes away while also being pushed on the front. The probes are running away. No observer got into position, but the probes didn't run away quick enough. 16 get nuked. Big losses, and now all of a sudden TY is pushing Patience once again. Patience finds himself down on supply. He's having a remax. It's very tough to know what composition to make right now as the Protoss against this many tanks. Disruptor goes out, doesn't get the connection though. Whiffs for Patience. Looks like the Protoss is planning a big counterattack though, just trying to buy as much time as he can. This is one way to play around the high tank count of TY, and we will be seeing this big attack move in. It's like a handful of DTs, a bunch of Stalkers and Zealots now going to be trying to hit TY's base. There is a lot of tanks here though for TY to help defend this location. Stalkers volley down. They kill one of them very slowly because Patience was just so focused on this base. Once again though, we see Patience failing to kill a base. He is getting a big Zealot and DT warping into the main base of TY now though. And this is really good for Patience. He's been throwing away so many resources time and time again against TY, but he's staying in this game. He's keeping the Terran plenty busy. He's prevented a complete map dominance from TY. I mean, TY, he's had to be on the defensive so much because of Patience's attacks. TY has struggled to just get up a 6 base. I mean, he had to float over one of his orbital commands. TY would certainly like this to be a planetary fortress. I mean, Patience is really keeping the pressure on TY. He moves in with his Zealots and Stalkers once again. Gonna want to turn that around. TY is also very split up right now. I mean, he's got a lot of tanks not here helping out. He's got a lot of units in his main, whereas Patience has got Stalkers, Zealots, and DTs that are just out on the map everywhere, poking and prodding the Terran, defending by being aggressive. I think this is one of the best ways you can play as Protoss, so I'm really liking how Patience is taking on TY. I think TY is still in quite a good spot this game, but anyone could still win this match right now. I mean, take a look. Another big attack for Patience. Going to be moving in. The DTs can blink on top of this. The Planetary Fortress is going to go down. Patience's hard efforts finally pay off. At the same time, TY queues up a nuke towards the base of Patience. That ghost, will it be found? I'm not sure. A good disruptor shot could clean it up if Patience is paying attention, but he's unaware of where the ghost is, so he's just got to basically deal with it. Probes get back to work. The army of Patience is going to be running away. So he got the PF, he kept those alive. TY throws up a command center on location. His economy is nothing super amazing. I mean, he's got the workers, 77 workers, but he doesn't really have the bases. Seeing as how he's really starting to mine out. This is a great fight, though, for TY, fighting a fraction of Patience's army, mainly Zealots, DTs, and Stalkers. That's an incredible fight for the Protoss player. Or for the Terran player. He's also gonna get a base. At the same time, Patience knows what to do, pushes in, forces TY off his orbital command. Now going to be potentially pushing towards TY's production. We'll see. Probes running away. Patience having the base in the bottom right-hand side really is his lifeline after losing multiple bases once again. At the same time, though, TY doesn't have a ton of locations established. We pull up the income graph. It's really been in the favor for Patience, and that's just due to TY's lack of ability to secure bases. If Patience hadn't been pressuring so much, pardon me, TY would have been easily able to secure up another base. And then he probably would have just been soaring and able to take this game. Like we see, TY is he's not just half-assing trying to take another base. He is, I mean, he's getting up more and more command centers. He's getting up, so he is getting up more CCs. He's trying to secure more and more locations. We see him to spend a ton of resources trying to get up more bases. At the same time, though, I mean, Patience has been pressuring non-stop this game. TY would already have these bases up if Patience hadn't been attacking with DTs in random places at random times, sniping off random bases, and preventing TY from freely expanding. Make no mistake, Patience has been very aggressive this game, almost to a fault. Resources lost are really in favor of TY, and Patience just takes a very poor fight. So there is a chance that Patience will eventually just dry up and run out of bases due to Eternal Empire having a lot of locations and Patience just taking bases like mad himself, though. He is keeping this game going. He does need to keep TY on the back foot, though. Otherwise, it is going to be very challenging for Patience to be able to win this game. I mean, he's down on supply, so he needs to be careful, and he needs to not eat this nuke. Oh no, a massive nuke going down for TY, kills 27 probes, decimates Patience's economy. We see another disruptor shot going on out. Great disruptor shots against the army of TY. Was it enough, though, for Patience? I'm not sure. That was a great individual fight, but there's been dozens of little fights this game, and Patience eating a nuke of 27 probes really has set him back. I mean, he's going to be hitting TY's bases before they turn into planetaries, which is really nice for him. At the same time, though, his economy just got rocked by that ghost. I mean, Patience maybe would have had a lot better supply this game if he hadn't eaten that nuke. He'd have been up probably like 20 workers at this point. He'd have a much higher army supply due to a better income. Right now, though, he's just making 6 probes at a time, and he desperately needs to buy more time this game. This is why we see Zealots running all over the place. This is why we see Patience just trying to defend as many locations and expand everywhere he can. It's hard for TY to snuff them all out. Patience is playing a game, a very positional game, that is preventing TY from just forcing him into a bad fight. We see DTs and Zealots now engaging Bio at TY's base. Patience will have that cleaned up, though, and this is where things could start to turn on him. He's not going to have an easy time pressuring these planetary fortresses now that they're set up. He's going to be getting pressured on the right side, and it looks like TY is going to take the game, but man, did Patience ever work for him, though. I'll say, though, that absolutely was a big nuke for TY. It was the nuke that won the game. I mean, Patience, it's not like he was in an awful spot. It's not like he was in a great spot before that nuke, but after it, man, after that nuke, like, oh my god, what a nuke from TY. This Ghost just getting up to like 30 kills, totally nuking the heck out of Patience. And I mean, look at this right now. Patience has 77 probes mining. He's doing good pressure on TY still this game. And if he keeps this going, he can probably remax out. Whereas the second this nuke hits, it just tanks the supply of Patience down to like, what? I don't know, something incredibly low. It completely removes Patience's ability to remax. I'd say the difference, as a matter of fact, between a 50 probe and a 77 probe economy like Patience had, is the ability to remax. You can build an army off a 50 probe economy, but you can't remax. If you're Patience zone, you're on 77 probes, you can remax pretty darn quickly after taking crazy trades like this. And so TY's nuke completely took the wind out of Patience's sails, and that was absolutely what won him the game. I mean, I think TY did have a lead this game for the most part. Patience was making him run around in circles, but he had a lead, and I think that nuke was absolutely what won TY the game. That was a game-winning nuke. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this match, make sure to hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe if you made it to the end of the video. Join the Discord, it's linked in the description down below. And then, of course, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and, I think I already said that one, go ahead and subscribe. I've done a lot of casting today. This has been LaughNgamez. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.